It started on an ordinary Tuesday at Maple Creek High, where teenage chaos bloomed with the morning bell. The halls pulsed with noise, laughter, and the careless swagger of high school hierarchy. No one noticed Lena at first. She was the quiet girl. The one who walked with her head down, eyes buried in books, voice barely above a whisper. To most, she was invisible. But that day, everything changed. Lena stepped off the school bus holding a small sketchbook, worn, dog-eared, and filled with art too beautiful for this world. Art was her escape, her refuge from the noise of a world that never listened. She passed by students who barely acknowledged her presence. But 3 of them did. Rocco, Dante, and Mackenzie, the school's most feared trio, had grown bored of their usual prey and were hungry for a new target. Mackenzie spotted Lena and smirked. "Look who decided to crawl out of her shell," she said, her voice dripping with venom. Rocco, built like a linebacker, nudged Dante, who was known more for his cruel mouth than his grades. They followed Lena through the hallway like predators. She didn't notice them at first. Her world was paper and graphite, not the cruelty brewing behind her. It happened outside the cafeteria in front of dozens of students. Lena was sitting alone on a bench, quietly drawing a portrait of her late mother, her most treasured sketch. Mackenzie walked up with fake sweetness, glanced at the drawing, and laughed mockingly. "Is that supposed to be a face? Looks more like a smashed pancake." Lena froze. She clutched her book, her knuckles white. Rocco snatched it from her hands. "Let's see what kind of trash you're doodling." "Please," she whispered. "Give it back." He tore a page. Then another. Laughter erupted. Lena stood, trembling, tears rising in her eyes. And then it happened. Mackenzie raised her hand, and slapped Lena so hard that her head snapped sideways. The sound echoed like a gunshot in the corridor. Time froze. Silence. Then gasps. Phones came out. Videos began recording. Lena stumbled back, touching her cheek in disbelief. No teacher was in sight. No friend came running. No savior appeared. Only Lena stood, trembling. But her eyes were no longer filled with fear. They were filled with something else, something darker. Something ancient. What no one knew, not the students, not the teachers, and certainly not the bullies, was that Lena had a past. One that burned with the fire of loss and was forged in the crucible of self-discipline. After her mother's death, Lena had been enrolled by her father in a hidden martial arts dojo deep in the city's underground. For 3 years, she trained silently, Muay Thai, Krav Maga, Aikido, and a special form of Filipino Kali. She trained not for revenge. She trained because the world had taught her that silence made her a target. But now, the silence was broken. She didn't say a word. She didn't retaliate, not yet. She picked up her sketchbook, torn and scattered. Her eyes lingered on the ripped portrait of her mother. And without a word, she turned and walked away. The bullies laughed behind her back. But what they didn't see was that Lena walked straight to the principal's office, not to snitch, but to request something she'd been thinking about for weeks, a demonstration at the upcoming school assembly. "Martial arts for self-defense," she said, calmly. "I can lead it." The principal, unaware of the slap incident but impressed by her courage, agreed. 2 days later, the entire school gathered in the gym. The bleachers were filled. Teachers, students, and yes, even the 3 bullies sat front row, still giggling about the slap girl. Lena stepped onto the mat. Dressed in black. Silent. Calm. Dangerous. She faced 3 black belts from a local academy, invited to assist. With surgical precision and terrifying speed, she dismantled each one in rapid-fire moves. Elbow strikes. Sweeps. Disarms. Pressure points. Gasps rippled across the gym. Phones came out again. But this time, they recorded awe. Then Lena picked up a microphone. Her voice was calm. "I was slapped in front of you all. No one stopped it. That's okay. But I want every person who ever felt helpless to know, you don't have to stay silent. You can fight. Not with anger. Not with revenge. But with power. and purpose. She turned to leave. Rocco, embarrassed by the shift in perception, muttered to Dante, "Let's remind her who runs this school." They followed her to the back hallway and made their second mistake.